Hello everybody and welcome to StarNet Link, and today we're going to be doing a video about Fae encrypted creatures. So for this video, I thought it would be a little bit more better for me to explain a little bit about the background knowledge that I know about these creatures and what I've heard from different beings that have contacted me in the past about them. I thought as time goes on, I do know that this is not every single fae or cryptid creature on this planet. I do know that there's more out there. I just have not learned about them or known about them yet. But I do know that as more people come forward with their encounters, the more that we can learn about these creatures and know how to interact with them properly. I do feel that it's very important for us as humanity to learn about these creatures or learn about our co-inhabitants because this shows how well we might interact with other foreigners that are not native to our planet. Not only that, but we could learn a whole lot from our co-inhabitants because they might know something about human history that we don't know and might actually help us become great allies in further advancing our civilization together. And learning to work together is very vital, important for this planet. So I do understand that as time goes on, there will be more knowledge. So hopefully in the future, as time progresses, that I will be to update this video. But as of right now, this is just the information I know. If I forgot a fae or cryptid creature, leave a comment below and we can discuss it in my upcoming live stream. But any further ado, I thought I will go ahead and start the presentation. So for people who don't know the terminology, I thought I would go ahead and simplify what I mean and give my definition about what a fae encrypted creature is. A fae creature is what a lot of people refer to as magical, mystical, paranormal creatures that we most typically understand. That has been a There has been a lot of folklore about them. They have been in human history. They have been in our literature for a very, very long time. So they're fae creatures. They are native. They have coexisted with humanity since the birth of humanity. And they will continue being here on this planet long after we die. Um, Cryptid creatures are genetic engineered creatures, either from Atlantis, Lemuria time, or they're from the DUMBs or MILABs that I know about from genetic experiments escaping. There are also non-native species, meaning that sometimes aliens uh, bring their pets here to like roam around or have fun with because they're like family to them. And sometimes they wander off and become folklore or become stories of like interesting creatures. So that's what my definition of cryptid creatures is: anything that's non-native, genetic engineered, or just very extreme are very weird creatures that are not normally associated here on this planet. So that's what I mean by those two definitions for it to order to clear those up. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is fairies. Um, I was a huge fan of fairies when I was a kid. I remember um, dressing up with them, dressing up as a fairy as a young kid for Halloween. The one thing that you need to know about fairies is that they're extremely territorial. They also they're also associated with nature. They're often considered as forest helpers or little helpers. Um, I do know that they usually tend to stick around areas that have a high density plant life or mostly associated with seeing them in like deeper parts of forests. I do understand that some of them do interact with people in their home gardens. Fairies are also very mischievous creatures, but they're also very kind. What I mean by mischievous, meaning that they might take shiny objects that you might like keys to buttons to anything that just looks nice to them that they can carry. One thing, the only type of experience that I have ever had with fairies with one of my experiences when the SSP people or the My Labs tried to come and get me. It must have sent a trigger, or I must have had fairies living with me, or they might have come with me through the portal. Um, I have had experiences where fairies were trying to protect me from dark or negative people trying to come and take me. I remember them swarming them, attacking them. So I had really, really positive experiences with fairies. I do know that there's many different depictions about fairies, but this is the closest that I typically know them as, or everybody knows them as. I do know that there's other depictions about them, which I will explain. So there's a huge difference between fairies and um, the next group, which is called brownies. I always associated that fairies that had wings were female, and the ones that don't have wings were male, but I was wrong. Fairies and brownies are completely different species. Brownies do not have wings. They're also associated with little people. I do know that there has been a lot of folk stories or a lot of tales, but these beings like to work with humans. They're worker bees in a sense. They're really great helpers, but they do cause a lot of mischief. I do know that if you anchor them, they do have a habit of destroying stuff. They have known to be mischievous by taking things and having them reappear. They don't really cause a whole lot of harm. They just like to be tricksters or just have fun with you or mess around with you. I do know that they do like pets. Um, and sometimes they have a lot of fun riding your pets around, like you know how humans ride horses. Well, it's the same thing with brownies, where they will ride your pet like a horse around the house. They're helpers. They do have a tendency to help humans find lost things. So if you need help finding lost things, brownies are really good at helping you find lost things. Um, there is very little knowledge about brownies. I don't think there's a whole lot of occurrences with them anymore. I don't think that they're around anymore. I do know that fairies are still around. There must have been a point of time where they started to migrate either deeper in the forest here on Earth, or they might have just started to travel back to inner Earth where it was safer for them, so they wouldn't be hunted. But yeah, fairies and brownies are completely different. The one thing that you can associate the difference between a brownie and a fairy is that fairies have wings and brownies don't. So we're gonna move on to the next one. So gnomes. So the reason why I put a picture of a very deranged gnome is to help people not associate them with the friendly garden gnomes that we see are put in our gardens. Um, Gnomes are not very friendly to humans. They believe that we are destroying the forest or destroying this planet. So they do have a habit of being very nasty towards human. I do know in order a way to get on their good side that they do like meat, specifically steak, turkey, and other meat products. They're not vegetarian. They do eat small game like squirrels, rabbits, and other small game and chipmunks. So they are meat eaters. They're considered to be forest protectors. They protect the forest. There has been, I guess, circulation, but I don't know if it's true or not, but they do tend to sabotage um, equipment from logging companies. They're mostly be the ones that would be sabotaging logging equipment or anything to do associated with cutting down trees. They will be the ones that will sabotage it. They will be the ones that will probably cause a lot of mischief around your property. They're not destructive, but they have known to kill animals to get their point across. I don't know. The other thing that a lot of people need to understand is with the cow mutilations, there's a good possibility that another angle to go about cow mutilations back in UFO culture might be gnomes doing it to show their anger and frustration towards humans. That's another angle to go by, but they're not very friendly towards humans. They're known to be forest protectors, so they will protect certain aspects of the forest. I do know that they like to live in abandoned sheds or barns. They also live in caves where there's not a lot of human activity. But I also do know that um, they do like to migrate between here and Middle Earth, but they mostly like it up here. They do have a tendency to steal stuff. Most of the things that they steal would be alcohol or drinks, but most of the time they would be the ones to steal alcohol. Um, that's the only thing that I know about them, but I do know that there's still a lot more information that be done, but that's the information that I know. So elves. So there's many different depictions about elves, and I always associated elves as being like gnomes, like this guy, but I was totally wrong that there are the Inner Earth slash Lord of the Rings type of elves living in Inner Earth. They're known to use magic. I don't know if they like humanity or not. I haven't interacted with them. I do know that they do sometimes interact with humans, but I don't know a whole lot, but I do know that they do exist and I do know that they do use magic. This isn't the correct representation. One of the ways to like tell they're an elf is by their ears. And so this is just a recommendation that I found on Google, but this is not like the perfect recommendation of elves, but it's the closest that I could find. But that's the information that I know about them. So polymorphs. So this is the being that I saw. They are a gray race that can metamorph into animals. Um, they're also another type of fairy. Um, some people put them in the category of cryptids, but I also don't know if they're also associated with skinwalkers, but a lot of people might associate these beings as being demons. They were positive fairy beings. They used to eat interdimensional parasites, but I do think that they were hunted to extinction. I have heard rumors that they were captured by SSP assets to be used as scouts or to be used as some sort of asset with the SSP, but they're polymorphs. They can transform themselves into animals. They don't transform themselves into other things, just animal like beings, and they are grays. They are native to this planet. They lived here. I don't know when they technically arrived, but they arrived here on this planet as to seek a new home. And due to interplanetary and planetary laws, they are considered a native to this planet because they have inhabited this planet for more than 1,000 years. So they do considered, and by legal right, they are a native to Earth. Um, I have seen them once in my bedroom on the astral plane, so I don't know if they are mostly associated with with a more higher density, like in 4D, or if they're more on the astral plane. But they do exist. This might be the creature that a lot of people might see in their nightmares or see when they astral travel. They're polymorphs. Sometimes people might associate them with archons, but I do think over time they started to become aggressive towards humans, probably because of the destruction nature. They're very sensitive to energy, so it wouldn't surprise me that the reason why they're be turning against humans is because the energy shift or because of the Omega system kind of like corrupted them a little bit. But other than that, that's what I know about polymorphs. So Bigfoot and Sasquatch. So Bigfoot slash Sasquatch is a native to Earth. They like to travel between Earth and Earth's twin sister, which is called Tartania, and they travel through the vortex slash portal system ley lines here on this planet. Um, they're very friendly. I think I only had like one encounter of them, but I didn't actually see them. I have heard that the one way that they announce their presence is by banging on stuff to let you know that they're in their presence. One thing that I have learned about Sasquatches from the Pleiadians do a wellness check on them once in a while. And according to the Pleiadians, they are suffering from ticks. Some of them have very, very bad ticks covered all over them. Um, According to them, that tick population hasn't been this bad. So some of the things of what the Pleiadians are doing is that they're trying to remove ticks from them so they don't get Lyme disease. But I do know that a lot of big folks are do have Lyme disease that the Pleiadians are trying to take care of. So in order to like find a Bigfoot, they'll probably mostly be in areas where there's not a high population of ticks. The reason why the tick population has gotten so bad on Earth is because of the bat population is decreasing. Bats were the main, I guess, predator for ticks because they would eat them as food. But yeah, Sasquatch is a native to Earth. One of the things that I have learned and what the Pleiadians have told me is that some of the things that Sasquatch likes from human culture is green Jolly Ranchers, the apple flavored or green Jolly Ranchers. They like peanut butter and marshmallows. They don't like chocolate, but they do like peanut butter and marshmallows. I have also known that they do like beer, or alcohol. The two types of alcohol that they usually get their hands on is Bud Light and Budweiser. Are their two favorite ones? That's what I've heard. I do know that they have a very, very hard time opening up the cans of the tab, so they haven't really figured out how to open up the Coke bottle. So they usually, what they do to open it is that they would pry it open with a rock in order to get it to drink it. But they have known to steal alcohol bottles that are already open. But yeah, they do like alcohol. Um, it just isn't widely known. That's the things that I have heard that they do like from human culture. They don't like popcorn because popcorn gets into their teeth and they don't like picking it out, so they don't like popcorn. But they do like green Jolly Ranchers. they do like marshmallows and they like peanut butter. That's what I have learned from the Pleiadians and learned from interacting with them, is that that's the items that they like. So orbs. So this is another depiction of orbs or fairies. I think that orbs are elementals, but they could be pixies or another form of fairies or a different species of fairies. But elementals are light beings. They're mostly associated with nature. They usually come out during like high vibrational frequencies. They're known to be protectors of the forest or just protectors of the crystal grid. I have also heard that they might be spirits, but they're elementals. They've been around since the beginning of this planet. They made this place their home. But orbs, orbs, at least from what I know, are elementals. Sometimes they're kind of, sometimes a bunch of them might, create like a form like this in the forest. But other than that, that's what I know about orbs. So nymphs. Nymphs are also known as associated with pixies, but nymphs are would be like forest spirits, or yeah, forest spirits. Like they're not necessarily fairies, but they're just forest spirits. I also know that there are water nymphs that live in the water, but nymphs just basically take care of the forest, take care of the animals. I do know that they're not here on the surface of the planet anymore, but they're definitely in Middle Earth. They're still around in Middle Earth. Skinwalkers. So one of the things that I know about skinwalkers is that I have heard many different things, but the one thing that I know is that they might be another species of polymorphs or humanoid beings that could transform themselves into animals. I have also heard that they also might be um, the closest or realistic understanding of realistic werewolves. Um, I do know I do know that they mostly live in the forest or deep within forest. One of the things that I have learned about them is that I don't think that they're evil or anything like that. I just think that they're acting on instinct. And I haven't heard any stories of them like killing people. I do think that they just like scaring people off to different locations of their territory. I do know that the name Skinwalker comes from a Skinwalker Ranch. I do know that Skinwalker Ranch is a huge portal hub, like a gigantic portal hub. But I do feel that it has been tainted a lot. And I do feel like that place needs to be spiritually cleansed by energy healers or light workers. Like that entire area needs to be cleansed. I have also heard that skinwalkers might be a genetic experiment gone wrong from the MyLabs and escaped. But that's what I know about skinwalkers. So merfolks and mermaids. So mermaids do exist, merfolks do exist. One of the interesting things about merfolk is that they mostly try to protect sea creatures. They roam around. Some of them do travel to inner earth. There are underground tunnels or underground cabins where they swim through to go to Middle Earth. Um, Merfolk really do not like humans because we are destroying their habitat. One of the things that I have learned is that I do know that they taught killer whales to tip over yachts. Um, I also known that they are the ones that might be sabotaging fishing game or try to protect fishers. Um, they're also known as sirens. They do sing. Yes, back in the past, they did used to lure people to their death by their singing, just because people were like curious about them. I do know that they sometimes do migrate with whales or work alongside whales. One of the things that you need to know, especially with Sasquatch and mermaids, is that they are genetically similar to us. Sasquatches would be the version of us if humans weren't genetically altered the way they were, and if we weren't altered, but if we still, coexisted with or tried to evolve along with water, like we would mostly look like merfolk. But from what I know is that Bigfoot and mermaids are genetically similar. They're like our cousins. They are native here. It's just that I think during certain points of human history, I do believe that a huge giant bunch of humans decided that they don't want to live on the surface of the planet, but they, evolved in the sea, and that's how we got merfolk. And that might explain the reason why they're genetically similar to us. But that's the thing that I know about merfolk. So Mothman. So from what I know, they are a native to Earth. Um, I do know they're not supposed to be on the surface of the planet because they cause so much stir, but they are native. They live in Earth, inner Earth. I have also known that the SSP might have done an experiment on them, but I have not heard anything that they are a genetic experiment, except they are native to Earth. They mostly live in Middle Earth, but I do think that there was one time where one of them just tried to like around and human venture around and understand human culture. But I do know that they're not allowed to be on the surface anymore because they cause too much of a stir. But they are native to Earth. They just live in Middle Earth and they're just not allowed to come to the surface anymore. So a chupacabra. So a chupacabra, this is like one of the depictions that I've seen. One of the things that you need to know about chupacabras is that they're not native to Earth. They were a pet by an alien race, a reptilian alien race. Use them as pets, just like a dog and a cat. But escaped from its owner, and so it's just mills around. Um, According to interplanetary and planetary court, the natives of Earth, like us humans, are allowed to kill them because they are a threat to the ecosystem of Earth. So humans are allowed to kill them because they're not a native species to Earth and they could eat certain indigenous animals that natives eat or take care of, or it could destroy the ecosystem of Earth. But yeah, chupacabras are not native to Earth. Um, Human race is allowed to kill them or study them if they want to. The owners had to fork up their rights to them, and they knew the policy before coming to Earth about bringing pets, that if it, were to lose them or escape their custody, that the humans were allowed to kill them because they are a threat to the ecosystem. I do know that this was like the fifth occurrence that ETs brought pets here and almost destroyed the ecosystem here on this planet. So I do know because of the chupacabras that ETs are not allowed to bring their pets here anymore on this planet. But the chupacabra is not a native to Earth. Demons. Demons are native to Earth. They live in the lower astral realm. They're like first and second dimensional beings. The one thing that you need to know about demons is that they are acting on basic instincts. They don't understand what they're doing is wrong because they've been living in the lower astral realm. So the way of hierarchy goes in the demon world is that it's backwards against the light. So as with the light, as people descend down, they become lower vibration. If they send up, it's higher. Well, in the demon world or the lower astral realm, it's the exact opposite. The higher you go, the further away that your source, and the more darker you are, and the more low vibration you are in the demon world, is usually these demons are ready to ascend. There's many different depictions of demons. I do know that some demons do, I guess you want to say, take over people, but that kind of gets into another discussion. But usually, a lot of times, the reason why they take over a person is because they want to experience the human physical experience that they were denied or used to have. They do feed on fear, anxiety, um, all the negative emotions. But you have to understand that you as a person has the upper hand in dealing with these demons. You do have the power to cast them out. Most of the time of what I do to handle demons, I have only had like a couple of encounters with them when I was younger because they were helping me to process some of the stuff that happened during the SSP. And the reason why I had association is because those demons were ready to ascend to the higher plane, which would be lower third dimensional beings. I do know that some demons do want to work with humans because some of them do want to ascend to a higher plane or higher existence. Um, a lot of them just don't understand a whole lot. And if you're going to work with them or do dealings with them, you have to be very specific about what you do with them. And one of the things that is recommended is that if you make a contract or some sort of agreement with them, make sure that you have a spiritual agreement and also a physical agreement with them. Meaning that if you make an agreement with them on the spiritual realm, you need to make a physical copy after you're done dealing with them in the spiritual realm to solidify that they can't, in order to back up your claim. They do have a tendency to lie. I do know in order for them to, I guess, a way to tell that a demon is lying is that they always lie about certain stuff, but they do tell the truth. It hurts them a lot if they tell the truth to you. So if you see a demon in pain or see a demon that is acting very strangely, chances are that the demon is trying to tell you the truth of something or let you know about something. But the difference between demons and angels is that demons show you things that maybe not necessarily like or not necessarily agree with. But I do know that people do work with demons. But I could go into a whole lengthy video about demons and understand the different hierarchies of demons, but they're native. I usually tell demons that they need to go back to Tartarus or back to the lower astral realm where it's their home. A lot of them were run loose here on this planet during the Omega system, like the original gatekeeper or the original caretaker of these lower astral beings sort of disappeared or just stop working with them. So you normally what I just tell them is to go back home, and some of them have never been back to their own realm or lower astral realm in a really, really long time. So just reminding them of what home is, they usually tend to leave you alone. But yeah, I could go into like a whole entire video about discussing demons. Shadow people. So shadow people are a little bit different than um demons, but they're interdimensional spirits. Um, I do know that they don't really tend to cause harm. They're also associated as watchers, like they watch and record certain things. Um, the reason why they do that is that I do think that they work with the higher astral plane to record stuff for the acoustic records. Um, I also do know that they're supposed to be helping spirits cross over and like close portals. I have always had good association with shadow people. They have helped me get over my fear. I do think that sometimes certain shadow peoples are assigned to certain people to help them get through rough times or help them to get over a fear that they had in their past life in order to help them to ascend spiritually. But I have always had good association with them. They don't cause any like harm or anything, but I had positive interaction with them when I was younger when they helped me get over my fear. But that's what I know about them. So shadow slash demon hounds. So demon hounds work with the shadow beings. The shadow beings are the handler to demon hounds or shadow hounds. Shadow hounds are supposed to bring or to hunt down negative demons that have escaped control or run rampant here on this planet, and they usually try to like round them up and take them back to the lower astral plane where they belong. But demon hounds are real. I have seen them. They're just like a regular dog. They're not harmful or anything. They also do have a tendency to help lost souls to transition. They're also known to protect souls that are trapped here. But due to the fact that a lot of them are no longer around here because they were also hunted to extinction. But demon hounds are real. They're really kind. They're really sweet, just like regular dogs. But yeah, that's what I know about them. One of the other things that I forgot to put on this presentation is centaurs. Um, Centaurs are a real species. I do think that they were a genetic experiment by Atlantis and Lemuria. What I mean by genetic experiment, meaning that they use their manifesting power to transform a horse into like a man. Um, most of them don't live here on the surface. They mostly live in inner earth, but they're very real. But that's what the thing that I know about Fae and cryptid creatures. I understand that most of my information might be a little bit um small or not much information because I'm still learning about these, and this is just the information that I have learned so far about them. And as time progresses, I'll probably update this video. But if you had an encounter with a cryptid or a fey creature, I would love to interview for my YouTube channel. But thank you so much for the support. Please share, like my videos. It really helps out my channel. It really helps people, especially people who are new and still learning about this stuff, to share my videos. Um, just by sharing or liking my videos really helps support my channel. But thank you so much for supporting my channel. If you want to support my channel any more further, the donation links are in my YouTube profile. If you want to donate, I do have services for people who want um, galactic origins, ET, alien abduction contact. Um, I also do tarot card readings. If you want a second opinion on a reading that was done in the past, I can give you that. I also do Akashic Records readings. It's $100 a day. I don't charge by the hour, I charge by the day because I try to work within clients' schedules, and everyone's schedule is different, especially with different time zones that I'm working with people and different clients. And it's an extra 50 if you want um it recorded. My business contacts are also in my YouTube profile. But thank you so much for listening to my videos. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. But thank you so much for supporting my YouTube channel.